Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another Attack on Titan Season 4 analysis covering the differences from the manga in Episode 3, titled The Door of Hope. This episode includes the remaining half of chapters 94 and 95, all of 96, and most of chapter 97 of the manga. There is a lot to go over in this video, so let's get started, guys. Starting off, we're at the midway point of chapter 94, and there's a few changes that happen in this short beginning scene. Reiner and his mother talk, and we get information that Reiner's father is from Marley and that he is not in the picture because of this reason. The scene is set up differently in the manga, with Reiner sitting in his mother's lap on the bed as she holds him against her body. It also goes further in showing us that his mother is the epitome of a brainwashed Eldian by having her feel guilty that the blood of the devil runs through their veins. More guilt is shown in that she wishes that Reiner could have been born to a Marleyan and not an Eldian. She also tells her son that his father being an Eldian is a secret and that it is against the rules for a Marleyan to have a child with an Eldian. She also describes them as being caged up so that they won't bother the Marleyans. Conversations like this during Reiner's childhood years are the root of his determination to help get he and his mother a better life through becoming a soldier. Lastly, I like how the manga had us seeing the mother's eyes in every frame up until she started to cry. In the anime, we don't get a clear look at her face, and when we do, it is covered up by her hands as she's holding back the tears. In the anime, we see Reiner's memories of the candidates starting off their training and getting yelled at by General Magath. It then jumps to the scene where a young Zeke is speaking to all of them about inheriting the Titans. The jump skipped a whole scene from the manga that gives us more insight on the candidates and makes the reason for them being chosen in a later scene make even more sense. In the scene where the trainees are running through the rain, in the manga, it was at this moment that Marcel is accepted to become a candidate to receive a Titan. We also get to see Reiner lagging behind and him calling out for them to wait for him. Next, Bertold becomes a candidate through a marksmanship exercise. We are shown in the panel Bertold hitting the center on the target, and right beside him is Reiner missing most of his shots. Reiner then reacts with disappointment as Bertold is chosen. Next one we have is Annie being selected. Annie flips Reiner during combat training and is praised highly as she is told that she passes. Reiner is then shown feeling more and more desperate as he lays there on the floor. This scene will also feel familiar to anime watchers because it is the exact same throw that Annie does to both Eren and Reiner during episode 4 of season 1. It starts around 7 minutes in if you want to watch the whole scene there in the episode. After this, we see Reiner in a classroom with the other kiddos, and he is very stressed compared to the others while working on this paper. He is so stressed even that you can see tears starting to form in the corner of his eyes. The last thing that was skipped in between these scenes is Reiner running into his home and telling his mom that he was chosen to become a warrior candidate. It's a little hard to tell in the manga, but warrior candidates have different colors of armbands that they wear, and the color is yellow for them. His mom embraces him, and he promises to her that he will definitely inherit one of the 9 Titans. Zeke rounds the young candidates up and tells them that 6 out of the 7 of them will be inheriting a Titan. Reiner gets excited but is quickly shot down by Porco, causing Reiner to get punched in the face. In this anime scene, the apple was added in for the show, and also we don't get to see Porco's punch connect with Reiner. The manga version does have noticeable differences in this scene though. It starts with all the candidates, including Zeke presumably finishing up a running exercise and being out of breath during the whole conversation. Zeke then explains that since the war with the South is concluding, they will be reorganizing the war unit as part of the army's new structure. Thus, the reason for all the Titans getting new inheritors. Next, Reiner's reaction is more surprise, and you can see the joy filling his heart as he hears the news. In the anime, it's more like, nice, I'm getting a Titan, but in the manga, he's a lot more serious and heartfelt about it. The next is a callback to the previous difference when we got to see all the candidates in action. The manga makes it more clear who has the skills Porco is mentioning, and also when he talks about loyalty, we see the panel of the 2 of them in the classroom and Porco looking at Reiner during that test. Porco is also more rude by basically calling Reiner a kiss ass before mocking his words. Reiner then starts yelling at Porco to defend himself. In the manga, he does not grab Porco's wrist as he talks to him, and the anime leaves out a bit of dialogue between the 2. Reiner asks him if he knows who's on that island and that they will kill us if we don't kill them. He then accuses him of being a restorationist and mentions how they support King Fritz. Him naming the king was not in the anime. Next, Zeke only addresses Peak to come with him in the anime when he's leaving, but in the manga it looks like he's addressing Reiner, Bertold, and Annie. Next one, as the guys are jogging and talking, Reiner stops in the anime to deliver his final line of making his parents proud. In the manga version, Reiner and Bert never stop running while they talk. Lastly, we have the scene with Eren. No dialogue changes, but the only thing is Eren has his maroon jacket in the anime that isn't in the manga, and the bridge is missing in the anime as well. Now we jump over to the middle of chapter 95. I love how they handled this scene in the anime. Having the description of the Titans' abilities as they are on screen in battle really kept the viewer's attention and helped the information stick. I also like how they added files to each character, and you can see how carefully documented everything is. That being said, the anime omits the starting double full page of the female Titan and Armor Titan running on through the battlefield. Then, when talking about Annie's Titan, they did not mention her martial arts playing a part in her deadliness, but the manga did. When talking about Reiner, the anime says being Marley's shield fits him because of his perseverance, but in the manga version they say it fits him due to his stoic nature. Next, during the Jaw Titan explanation, they say it's as speedy as it is small, but the manga says it is the swiftest of all, confirming that it is the fastest Titan. The Beast Titan section was pretty much the same, and so was the Colossal Titan one. The only thing we missed is a shot of the Colossal Titan's face that got moved to the end of the scene. And last for this section is some dialogue from General Magath. In the anime he says, "I feel bad for those island devils," but in the manga he says, "It almost makes me feel sorry for those island devils," still showing his hatred for the Eldians on Paradis. Then Magath says, "This new warrior unit may outperform their predecessors," but in the manga he clearly says that the unit is more powerful than the previous one. He also says that training them since infancy made a huge difference. After the showcase of the Titans, the anime cuts to the scene where Porco and Reiner argue about Reiner being chosen over him. This leaves out an important scene for anime watchers. In the manga version, Magath gives the reason for the Beast and Cart Titan staying in Marley, and it's because they need them to be there to deter enemy attacks. Then, Magath explains that the Paradis invasion will be done by Marcel, Bertolt, Annie, and Reiner. And right after that, we get a quick panel that shows Porco's reaction to this news. And also we get a quick shot of the map of Paradis Island in this panel right here. The next scene when Porco blows up on Reiner makes more sense with this background information. Also, fun fact, in this scene you see that everyone except Porco now has a red armband, confirming that they have been chosen. Reiner notices his father while in the parade and shows up at his barracks. This was a heartbreaking scene for Reiner, and we see how a Marleyan who mixes with an Eldian would be treated. There's only a couple things cut from this scene though. One is that Reiner tells his dad that he and his mom are now honorary Marleyans, and they can even walk outside the walls if they ask for permission. And the other thing is that we actually get to see his dad leave through the doors, and Reiner is left there alone in the room. The anime cuts from Reiner talking to his dad to him and the warriors on the boat leaving for the island. It then cuts again and the warriors are already on the island riding their horses. The manga shows us a lot more details before and after they leave. For one, Reiner talks to his mom before leaving and she tells him that, "I'm sure your father is praying for your success too." This tells us that he did not tell his mother about meeting his dad and that he didn't have the heart to disagree and tell her what kind of person he really is. Moving on, we see the group arriving at the docks and General Magath seeing them off. He tells them that where they are is the border to heaven, and then he gives them directions on where to go. He also tells them that there will be a boat at the dock during every full moon so that they can make their escape when the time comes. His parting words for them is to come back with the founding Titan, all of them. Nothing changes too much in the scene, just a bit of dialogue from the manga and Reiner standing up while he was asking Marcel if he had any doubts. It only skips Bertolt saying he's glad that they didn't run into any Titans on the way. Another great adaptation from the manga is the scene where Marcel saves Reiner from being eaten. The way that Ymir rose out of the ground was amazing to watch. In the manga though, we actually get to see Marcel being eaten and Reiner and Bertolt starting to run away as this happens. We are also shown that Reiner ran for as long as he could to get to that tree before stopping. In the anime he thinks that everyone got eaten, but in the manga he is mainly focused on Marcel being the one that got eaten and then the others were the thought afterwards. Side note, Reiner's scream was so great during this scene. It also skips Bertolt falling to his knees with exhaustion in the anime as well. Next, when Reiner talks about Titans being this far away from the walls, Bertolt chimes in to correct Reiner and finishes it off by saying, "Didn't you learn anything?" Bert and Annie walk away and Reiner is reminded of his mother's parting words. This drives him to push to continue the plan. The anime cuts from Reiner choking out Annie and goes straight into the destruction of the walls. We see the aftermath of Bertolt in the Colossal Titan and the Dina Fritz Titan ignoring him as it passes by. Reiner then narrates as he destroys the inner walls as we remember from season 1. In this section there was a lot of cut content from this scene. First, going back to when Reiner was fighting with Annie, after Reiner chokes out Annie, it goes to the start of their mission. Bert and Reiner are riding on the female Titan as she yells to attract Titans in the area to follow them. She is running out of energy because originally she and Marcel would be switching between their Titans as they made their way to the wall. Annie is almost at her limit when they see the wall and Reiner transforms into the Armor Titan. He then takes them the rest of the way there. Reiner drops off Bertolt at the wall and Bertolt second guesses himself on whether or not he can actually destroy it. Reiner protects Annie as Bert transforms and then we get to see some beautiful illustrations of the Colossal Titan breaking through the walls. As this is happening, Reiner is swarmed by pure Titans and has to fight them off as he runs towards the wall. Bertolt is scooped up by Reiner and he drops both he and Annie off at the top of the walls. The rest of the scene is pretty much the same just like in the anime. Annie wakes up to Reiner and Bertolt. Reiner then apologizes and tells them that he will be the warrior he should have been. It then cuts ahead to the team when they are trainees and Reiner says that he wants to save humanity. Then it cuts back to the scene before they became trainees and when they were just refugees after they destroyed the wall. Interesting fact here, the story of the man who hung himself is the same story that Bertolt told Eren and Armin during episode 3 of season 1.
僕とライナーはウォールマリア南東の山奥の村出身なんだ。川沿いの栄えた町とは違ってやけに家畜が騒がしくて、いつしかそれが何かの足音だと気づいて窓を開けたら
Essentially, their backstory is stolen straight from this man. There's quite a bit of cut content and it's rearranged content in these few minutes also. In the manga, after Reiner apologizes to Bertolt and Annie, it goes in chronological order and it shows them talking to the old man from where they got their backstory from. The next morning, the refugees find that man hanging from the tree. There's a short 2-year time skip and it shows us the group working in the fields and discussing the little information that they've found out. They talk about options to get closer to the royal family and Annie even suggests she marries into it. Bertolt freaks out when he hears this and it only shows us that he really does have feelings for her, even this early on. This is reinforced more when Annie says she doesn't have the skills to seduce a man and Bertolt disagrees. Ultimately, they decide the best way is to join the military police. Since they only have 10 years left, Annie asks if this is the best way to spend their time. We then learn that they are reluctant to just destroy all the walls because they are instilled with fear that a single roar from the founding titan would destroy humanity. Reiner then says we just have to keep moving forward since that is all they can do. And these are the same words that he says to Eren later on in the episode and the chapter as he is having trouble with his maneuver gear. Moving on, when Annie runs from Kenny, we actually get to see her escape through the sewers. Reiner also is more gentle in waking up Bertolt when he's sleeping on his back. Another scene that was skipped in the anime is where Reiner breaks up a fight between Eren and Jean. As he's doing so, he happens to glance over at Annie, and from the look in her eyes, he is reminded that these people are the enemy. The next change is when the warriors are talking outside during the night. Annie is concerned that if she joins the military police that Kenny will recognize her and that will be it for her. We also miss some dialogue here from Reiner explaining his thought process. He tells them that Trost would be the best place to cause chaos and that they would be able to hide after they destroy the walls. Or another option, they can become military police if they place in the top 10. Lastly for the scene, Reiner gives Eren advice and we miss some flashbacks of what's going on through Reiner's mind as he's getting the gun ready to shoot himself. This scene was almost scene for scene just like the manga, but there isn't too much to mention here, just some small changes. In the manga, as Falco walks up to the hospital, he's talking to himself, and what he keeps saying is that he needs to change so Gabby doesn't have to inherit the armor titan. Next, after the man calls Falco over, he thanks him for the other day when he helped him. Also, be sure to pay close attention to the last words of this episode. Maybe they sound familiar. Thanks for watching everyone, leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more anime content. Thanks again everyone and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.